or for a little dig, if you'd rather. But the ride donkeys know it all. How far to go, when to come back, how to take care of small children so that they don't fall off, while parents settle their lunch and make the difficult choice of what next to do. Some people have no difficulty in choosing. Older children of any age will find a real thrill just up the road from Ryde. A spin round the go-kart track will blow all the lunchtime cobwebs away and give you a real taste of speed with safety. Crash hats, tracksuits and gloves are all provided, and there are no dangerous hazards. If you run off the track, you just go onto the grass and stop. But if you've done the donkeys and you're too young for the go-karts, you'll find the swings and roundabouts at Ryde too. If you're a child and lucky enough to be on holiday in the Isle of Wight, you'll find there's always something to entertain you. You can certainly keep moving as long as you've got the energy. But don't use it up too quickly. There's a long summer afternoon ahead. When you've turned the island upside down, a quiet paddle in the pool at Ventnor will give everybody a chance to rest. The pool is in the form of a relief map of the island. No excuse anymore for not knowing exactly where you're going. Next to the pool is the canoe lake, where junior boatmen can paddle up and down without worrying about the sea and the tides and the depth of the water. Meanwhile, those of us who believe in taking it easy in the afternoon can sit in peace by the cascade which plunges from the downs above right through Ventnor into the sea, and dream about the quiet pleasures of life. But no need to dream. If bowls is your pleasure, you'll find it here, as green as any green can be. And you don't have to be quite as good as this. Cricket, friendly country cricket, is here for you too, if this is how you like to while away the afternoon. In fact, almost any ball game you care to think of can be found on the island, whether you want to play or merely rest and watch. And for real peace and quiet, there's Bonchurch, less than a mile from Ventnor. Bonchurch Pond is cool and calm, and the old church just above Horseshoe Bay is as mellow and peaceful as any old village church you ever knew. And although the sun still shines on Ventnor, if you should want to try an indoor pool, they can be found at several holiday camps and some hotels. If you stay at one of the island's holiday camps, you'll be sure of a lot of fun with a cheerful crowd in or out of the water. And very young children have a place to play and paddle as well. They have so much sun in Shanklin and Sandown that you may find it a pleasant change to cool off in Shanklin Chine nearby, a huge wooded cleft in the hills where the trees run down to the sea. And while in Shanklin, stroll around the old village where the thatched roofs and the half-timbered walls lie quietly in the sunshine as they have done for centuries before seaside holidays were ever dreamed of. But in the Isle of Wight, all roads in time lead to Newport, the capital. Newport's history goes back to Roman times, and it's a fairly stormy history at that. Over 600 years ago, for example, it was completely destroyed by French invaders. But by the 18th century, Newport was the social centre of the island, and today it's a pleasant market town and shopping centre, sitting comfortably on the River Medina. 5 miles to the west, not far from Brystone Forest, you'll find Winkle Street, a pretty row of old cottages preserved from the days when no aeroplane, no car, no visitors even, disturbed the silence from one year to the next. But for all the changes of modern life, it's still a place of peace and contentment. We said that Newport was a Roman town, and nearby Carisbrooke Castle also stands on a Roman site. More stormy history here. Once the residence of the island's governor, it was also the prison of Charles I, where the unhappy king was presented with his death warrant. Today it's a splendid ruin to walk around and marvel at, and it also contains the island's museum, where you can trace the whole history of Wight in relics and pictures. The moated walls date from Norman times, and parts of the original Roman wall are still there. Over the hills, but not so very far away, is God's Hill in the south. The old church has a strange history that the vicar will delight in telling you, and the village is one of the many unspoiled places where you can get away from the hurly-burly if you feel like it. Old churches, old houses, old history are everywhere, unexpectedly, like the ancient church and manor house at Motterstone in the west. We could spend a day telling you about them, and you could spend a month looking at them. But whichever land you walk over, you come to the sea in the end. Alum Bay, famous name in the world wherever dinghies and yachts are talked about. But Cowes isn't just one celebrated week in the year. There are sails on the water here all the year round, and not only sails. Hovercraft from Southampton and Portsmouth land here, and also the car ferry from Southampton. Ocean liners pass by en route for all parts of the globe. And now the late afternoon sun is making the shadows longer, and there is just time to wander a mile or so to the south to see Queen Victoria's favourite residence, Osborne House. This was partly designed by Prince Albert, and in the grounds you can find the Queen's old bathing machine and the Swiss cottage playhouse. Osborne House is a graceful memory when an Englishman's home really was his castle. Today, it can be his houseboat, like these at Bembridge in the evening sun. And it's evening in Yarmouth, and the island is quietening down after the day's excitements and before the night's entertainment. Evening at Newtown, on the northwest coast, where the old town hall is almost the only survivor of a once thriving community. Newtown Creek in the setting sun is a place of birds and water and the evening breeze. It's a good place to be at the end of the day, a place to draw breath for a while and enjoy the recollections of a day well spent. Nothing much ever disturbs the peace here. The tide takes the water in and out, and small boats occasionally go out and come back with the tide. The breeze ruffles the marshes, and the birds come and go. A good place to dream in. And now the sun is really going, a good 14 hours after it first appeared. The surf still rolls gently into Compton Bay, and the water still holds the warmth of the day. And from Tennyson Down, nearly 500 feet up, you can see the islands spread out below your feet. From Colwell Bay to Tottenham Bay with its beach and pier, round to Freshwater Bay. And with a last look at the Poet's Monument stretched against the evening sky, it's time to turn for home, for the night is young. Holidays on the island don't finish when the sun goes down. The islanders are happy people who enjoy life, and they want you, their guests, to enjoy it with them. Carnival, fancy dress, old-time variety, theatre, cinema, casino, bars, restaurants. The list is endless, and it's for you to choose. Whatever you do choose, one thing is pretty certain. When you finally climb into your comfortable bed, you will have had such a day that the night won't be long enough for you to recollect it all. But why worry? Tomorrow you can go out once more into that sunshine and do it all over again. And tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. And if you can't fit it all in this time, come back and discover again what a holiday can really be like on the Isle of Wight, England's island in the sun.